My friend, Prime Minister Ggroysman, and the ministers, and as well as all of you, I think that we're standing before a tremendous opportunity. I want to thank you, Wolodimir, for all the work that you did to enhance our cooperation, the free trade agreement, the political ties and economic ties between Ukraine and Israel. They will serve both our peoples well. I believe that Ukraine is standing before a great opportunity. It's one that should not be missed. Prime Minister Ggroysman just told me that you have a very interesting tax structure, so I don't pretend to understand it. But I would say keep it simple and keep it low. Keep it simple and keep it low. It depends where you are, of course. You know, when I presented these reforms, the first thing that I was told is that if I lowered the tax rates, I will create an Israel. And I said, well, that depends where you are on the Laffer curve. And they said to me, what's this Laufer curve? I said, no, it's not Laufer, it's Laffer. Not all economists are Jewish. You know, there are economists who are not Jewish, and Laffer is one of them. Anyway, Laffer drew a curve, which you're familiar with, and it says that, it's a very simple curve. It says that if you are at zero tax rates, your tax revenues will be zero. And if you're at 100% tax rates, your tax revenues will be zero, because that's the definition of slavery, you know. Nobody will work if you give away all your, all your income. So if it starts at zero and goes back to zero, then it has to go up as you start taxing, and then it has to go down. At a certain point, it becomes disadvantageous to tax. You get diminishing returns. Of course, how that hump looks changes with time, and changes also because of the international economy. Because if you can choose to go to a place which has lower tax rates, you know, most people will do, anybody who could do that would do that. And the same is true of companies and so on. So we were at the far right side of this camel hump. And we had marginal tax rates which were 65%, which I thought was ridiculous. And so we lowered the tax rates, and contrary to the arguments that were leveled against us, we got more revenues with lower tax rates than higher revenues with higher tax rates. And in fact, if we had raised taxes, as some suggested, to deal with our crisis, we would have collapsed the economy. So normally, I would say my natural tendency is always to think about how to lower the tax rates, but it depends where you are on the hump, and it's not a simple thing to consider that.
На сцену. Будь ласка, підтримуємо оплесками, тому що